how to convert this non-MVVM application to the MVVM architecture application. So this WPF application, which we have seen in the last video, so this application we have a code behind. From this code behind, we are going to convert this application into the MVVM design. So let's see in this application what we have. This is just one text block and one more text block. So this text block is showing the heading, and this text box is showing the actual timer value in the runtime. So in the code behind, what we have is a dispatcher timer, interval, max count, and at the constructor level we have initialized this timer, and this timer tick event we have written the logic to update the value. So interval count is starting from 1 and it's ending to the 100. So after every 1 second we are increasing this counter, so it will be, timer tick will be increased by the 1 second, and it will stop to the 100 because the logic is written interval count less than equal to the max count. So this complete logic we have to convert into the MVVM design. So it's very simple. First of all, in this example, we have main window, code behind, and nothing else. So we have to add one class. Simply we'll say as a view model. So this is view model class. This view model class we have added a constructor as well. So after creating a view model, what we have to do? So whatever the here, all these private variables we have written here, just cut it from here and paste into this class. So all this becomes a private variable here. Whatever the logic we have written in the code behind, that is initialization of this timer and starting of this timer, just cut it from here and paste into this constructor of a ViewModel class. And whatever this timer logic, timer tick event we have written here, just cut it from here and paste into this ViewModel class. So now if you see, there is a no logic in the code behind. Now as of now there is no logic. Even if you can remove this unused namespaces from here as well, so nothing is there. Just by default code, main window code, and initialize a component that is a constructor here and inside this constructor. Nothing, no code behind logic. So we can close this simply. And now what we have, this is the UI logic and the view model. So in the UI model, if you see clearly what we have written in the code behind, that is updating this text interval, text txt interval dot text property, and we updated this. But now this is not possible in the view model. Just comment it. Everything will, whatever this interval, we have to create one property that is a public property. That public property we have to bind to the front end, that is a UI here. Here's instead of this dot dot, we have to update this. We have to bind the property. So first of all, create that property. That public property we have to create a full, and this is going to be a property which we are going to create it. And let's say this interval time we have to update. So int, and this is the interval time. This interval time we have to update it. This is going to be private, and this public property we have to update to the design. And this property, what the value we have to update, so this we are going to bind to the UI part. So first of all, this interval time will bind to the UI design, but how? There should be some linking here. So this view model, we have to create a key of this view model into this design. So here you can create resources, that is a window resources, and inside window resources, this local namespace. Inside this local namespace only we created a ViewModel class. So this local class and this ViewModel class, and create a key. Key is a kind of object kind of thing, and this you simply add as a VM as an object. And here in the grid data context we have to add it. Data context and the static resources. What static resources we have added as a VM. Just build it to remove this blue line from here. It is built. It will linked. It will be linked. Okay. So now this is a text property where we have to bind this interval time, because we are going to update this interval time in this logic. So we can remove this comment like from here, and interval time equals to this interval count, we can update it. And this interval time is a public property, and this we have updated. With this we are going to bind it here. So binding and the path, and this is the interval time. This is the only one public property which is accessible here in the design. So this is how we have updated. So immediately you can see this default value got updated here. This is the interval time. So once we started it at the constructor level, this dispatcher timer will get initialized, and this is going to be start at a one value, that is a 1 second. And after every 1 second, it will be start executing this timer tick event. And if this timer count is less than the maximum count is going to be 100. If it is less than 100, then it is going to be assigning this interval count to this interval time. And if this if condition becomes when this if condition is not going to execute, else conditions will execute, and this timer will going to be stopped. And each and every timer tick, this interval count we have increased, so we can see the real value, increase value by 1 second. Okay, now if you start running it, what will happen? Still there are a few things which we need to add in this ViewModel to get the update value. As of now, we just bind this value to this text box text block text property. Now we have to we have to trigger this value after every tick. After every time, this timer value should be updated at a real time. So if you run this now at a construct level, it's initialized, it will start, but it will not be showing a incremental value. So it's showing just a 0, that's it. Because we have to update this property, we have to notify this property has been changed. So this, based on this notification, it will be sent to this UI and it will be get updated on the UI. So for this, we have an inbuilt interface, INotifyPropertyChanged. If you see this INotifyPropertyChange, this is in the system.component model, which is notifying to the client that property value has changed. Because as of now we bind it, but notification we are not generating, so it's not updating in the UI. So this just implement this one. So once we inherit this INotifyPropertyChanged event into our ViewModel, so we have to implement that event here in this class, so this error will be go off. So implement interface. So this is the property changed event handler we have here. And from this property change event, we have to create a method, that is a protected method or private method we can create, because this is going to be executed here. So we make it private, void, and on property changed as a method. And here you can pass as a string method name, or sorry, property name. So here in this method, this property changed event we have to invoke here, and this is going to be a object for here as this class, same from the same class we are going to pass, and this is the property name as a property changed event arguments. So this method we have to call to this setting. While setting this property value, we have to call this one, so this event will get invoked. And we can send this property name. What is the property name? We can either send by using this one, by double quote, as a string, because this is going to be a string value, or if you want to avoid this hard coding, then you can use this name of operator. So name of operator, and in the name of operator, just interval time, this is actual property, we can pass it. Or even if you are using a caller member name, so that also possible. So here caller member name, we can pass it here. And so make this nullable as a string nullable, and if you are not passing this string nullable, just assign as a null. Whatever the value which we are passing from here, the value we are passing it here, if you are not passing this property value, still it will be okay, because this is going to be a attribute which allows you to obtain the method or property name of a caller to the method. So this property name will be obtained because of this caller member name. So this also we can do. So by using any of the three ways we can follow, and we can notify this property value changed event, we can invoke this event, and we can update this value to the client here in the UI. So now build it, and we can see this value is getting updated here once we started this one. So this interval time which we updated is continuously updating here. So this is the simplest form of converting our code behind into our MVVM model.